Five-time All-Star.
The chosen one,
Exactly.
as he's come to be known.
Is that Schrager? Is that your team?
Schrager's actually the one that was 13 out of 32.
Okay.
And this other dude from Sharp Analysis,
Oh, that guy.
Brendan Donahue,
Sure, he's a
was
cool guy.
7 out of 32 as well, just like I was.
Damn.
So. Bo Nix.
What's going on, fish? Welcome back to your favorite koi pond. I am once again post-draft, joined by my co-host K-Dog
What
and
up?
myself, Colin. Yeah, it's after the draft, episode 25. I have to throw that in there.
There it
Always
is.
do, but yeah, post-draft. It's the end of the NFL season and the beginning. And now we have the long night that will last 3 months before we have any NFL action again.
Yep. So we have mini camps all starting though.
Yeah, OTAs and whatnot.
Yep. So right now I think they're starting to get some of the undrafted free agents draft picks in to start doing some walkthroughs, get them going over the playbooks, that kind of stuff. Exciting part. I mean, everybody knows what happened in the draft by now. If you're interested at all, it was, for the most part, a pretty mellow draft.
Yeah.
From a performance standpoint, my picks were 7 out of 32.
With how the draft went, I don't think that's bad at all.
Not too bad. Pete Schrager, if you know who that is from NFL Good Morning. He had 13 out of 32.
Very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. And so a lot of people were in that 7 to 10 range, it appears to be. So can't complain about that too much, but certainly we'll work on that and improve next year through Pro Football Focus and Sharp Analysis.
That's an extra year problem.
Two great tools that I found late in the process, but I'll definitely use those next year.
Hell yeah.
Just really quickly, kind of looking down through the first round of the draft. I think the shocker for everybody was certainly.
Michael Penix?
Yeah.
Going to the Falcons?
if that was his last name.
Yeah.
If you saw the typo.
Yeah, controversially not penis from what the Falcons posted. If you saw that, obviously I'll have it up. But that was a hilarious post, and I'm sure quickly taken down. But by the time they figured it out, it was too late, and the damage has been done.
Yep.
So the Falcons live on
Yep.
being the clowns of the NFL.
And again, we'll see what happens here. But the generational talent was assessed before the draft. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Cards stay at 4. Don't get cute. Take the best player.
It makes sense.
Chargers do a similar thing by taking Joe Alt at 5. Those are all very, very solid picks. Neighbors to the Giants at 6. Another great pick. Solid. Bears get a steal at 9 with Rome Odunze, the wide receiver.
I'm kind of surprised he dropped that low, even after what the Falcons did. I was kind of thinking he'd get pulled quicker than he did.
I really did too. And again, this was a very offensive lineman, receiver, rich draft. Again, quarterbacks, we'll see how that works out. Odds are 1 or 2 will and the rest won't.
Yeah.
And you never know who that's going to be.
And
but
there was 6 taken in the first round? Is that what
6,
I saw?
I believe. So, interesting there. We'll
Odds
see
don't favor any of them.
Not really.
With how the last few years have gone with quarterbacks is all I mean. Who knows? They could all be great, but realistically, they'll probably be, like you said, 1 or 2.
Yeah. First defender wasn't taken until 15, which is really surprising.
Yeah.
And then there was at that point it was kind of edge, defensive line, edge, defensive line, edge, offensive line, edge, offensive line. So it's kind of do-si-doed back and forth. And, I don't know. Darius Robinson was a player that I really liked. I did not have him in my first-round draft.
Yeah.
And he went to the Cardinals at 27. That is a really good pick. That's a big man for an end-of-the-line guy.
Right.
And with his size and he's going to really be a great player, I think, for them for a long time.
There you go.
Shocked that the Bills traded with the Chiefs at 28.
Yeah, that felt weird.
To let them take Xavier Worthy, the fastest guy in the draft.
Yes.
So if you're trying to beat your arch nemesis, I'm not quite sure that you would trade with them to help them get the guy they wanted.
You know, it's like, I get they didn't lose anything per se, but at the same time, I don't know if I would have been the one that's like, yeah, we'll do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe just say respectfully no.
So it's kind of an odd move, in my opinion.
I'd like to know more behind the scenes, and I think there's been stuff that's come out, but nothing's been shocking. There hasn't been a shocking reason that they did, or they did it, I guess.
Yep. The other surprise player I would say in the end of the first round was to the 49ers, Ricky Pearsall from Florida, the wide receiver. So we'll see what happens there. Not really anybody that was on radars for the first round, and so I don't think anybody got that pick right.
No,
but there you go. And as soon as the draft ends, what's kind of exciting to me is the undrafted free agents. That's what always starts next.
Yes.
So typically, while the brass is giving their press conferences on day 3 of the draft, all of a sudden they start running through, and the rest of the staff, the scouts, the agents, and all that stuff are working away on signing the guys that didn't get drafted.
Right. And
so there are some really good, I think, people that fell through. Just to make a couple notes of. Gosh, let's see here real quick. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm slouching again.
Frank Gore Jr. Went to the Bills.
Wow, he didn't get drafted.
Didn't get drafted.
Wow.
So that was a really good signing, I think, by them. The other thing they have on here is mini camp invites. So these are people that I think undrafted free agents get paid.
Right.
I think invites don't get paid. They're just offered an opportunity to come basically be a walk-on.
Yeah.
Cincinnati. So there was one Miami of Ohio player that got signed.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it would be Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's fine.
But safety Michael Dowell from Miami got on there. I can't say this guy's name, but he's also with Cincinnati as an undrafted free agent. He's a linebacker from Wisconsin.
That'll be probably pretty good.
Mema Jongmeta.
Sure.
And the guy's like 5'11", but he's almost as wide as he is tall.
Pancake.
And going to be, I think he's going to be a real good player for quite a while, honestly.
Sounds like a nice meatball.
Yeah. Cowboys get Brevin Spanford from Minnesota, tight end that's 6'6" and 260.
I like the opportunity there.
And for me, his name is spelled Brevyn. So when Mom and Dad would mix up my oldest brother and I, it was either Krevin or Brevin. And so when I saw that, I'm like, well, that's kind of funny. So there's Brevin. There's that one.
Interesting.
Yes. Let's see here real quick. There was, players from like schools like Appalachian State.
Right.
They always seem to translate well into at least special teams at the NFL level.
Huh.
Grand Valley State players who are from the Grand Rapids area in Michigan. Right. The Lions, of course, did get a quarterback from Grand Valley State.
Hell yeah.
Usually, teams look local to somebody around the area. And there will be some surprises that come through that way.
Well, it feels like there's always a couple. Maybe not every year, but one or two.
No, I think
every year.
I think you're exactly right. I know that the Chargers did pick up somebody from Appalachian State too, which is interesting. Carson Steele went to the Chiefs. He's a running back from UCLA.
Oh.
I think he could be a sleeper. He's a 6'1", 230 running back.
Damn.
And looked pretty tough to me. I'm surprised he fell all the way down through.
Yeah, it feels like there's always those guys that just fall through.
There really is. Chargers got a crap load of undrafted free agents. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, and I mean, the guys they did draft, it felt like they got a lot of DBs too.
So they did.
I'm happy with that, with how their defense has been the last 2 years.
And they've got 3 more cornerbacks and 2 more safeties they got through undrafted free agency.
Perfect.
So they should have a pretty good selection of talents and so forth from there.
I mean, Jim Harbaugh got his guy from Michigan, Colson, I think it was.
Yeah, Junior Colson.
Yeah, so I was really happy he got him, and I was really happy with the draft overall.
Yeah, I mean that's a great pick. I mean, I think they did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of highlight maybe what some of the ratings that some of the teams got.
Yeah.
The Bears, they get an A from PFF.
Sounds about right.
Instant impact player, obviously Caleb Williams.
Yes.
Best value, Rome Odunze.
Yeah.
Riskiest pick, and I disagree with this because this guy had high upside on. Kieran Amajangia, offensive lineman, going to be probably a tackle from Yale.
Okay.
And I think he is going to be a real surprise.
Okay.
Terry and Arnold, the Lions now get a B on their draft. Terry and Arnold, a cornerback from Alabama. Best value, Enos Rakestraw Jr. from, I think, Iowa.
Okay.
Riskiest pick was Giovanni Manu, offensive lineman. And this dude is a developmental tackle, I think.
Gotcha.
And he was somebody that was talked about quite a bit before the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, riskiest pick, but I think he's got a hell of a lot of upside to him as well.
Interesting.
Packers get a B. Texans get a B+. Chiefs get an A.
Of course.
The rich get richer. Instant impact, Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Best value, Jaden Hicks, safety. So that'll be interesting. Chargers get a B+.
Yeah.
Joe Walt, instant impact. Best value, Junior Colson.
Mm-hmm.
Riskiest pick, Ladd McConkey, which I disagree with.
I was going to say that Ladd definitely fills in for Keenan's spot.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to find a Mike Williams because they're banking on Quentin Johnson having a solid, makeup year for last. And then Josh Palmer in there is just reliable. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's how it always goes. Post-draft, everyone has their opinions.
That's right. Rams get an A, instant impact, Jared Verse, edge. Best value, I like this guy, Cameron Kinchins. Safety, I think he's like 6'3".
Damn.
And 220 for a safety. He comes, I think, from Florida or Florida State. Riskiest pick, Blake Corum from Michigan. Again, I think he's one of the big upsides.
Yeah.
Going to be a surprise. All these guys, and the reason why I picked these lists is all these riskiest picks are people that I thought were going to be sleepers.
Right.
So doesn't mean they're not without risk, but
the fact that they took him maybe higher than a lot of people had him on their boards shows that they thought the same thing.
Again, Mike Tomlin and his group always kicking ass.
Yes. Oh my God.
Pittsburgh gets an A. Instant impact was Troy Fautanu, the offensive lineman. Best value was Roman Wilson, the Michigan receiver.
Yes.
And riskiest pick, there's none for them. So that's
whatever Mike Tomlin does is law.
Exactly. This is interesting. The Niners got a D.
Oh.
Instant impact was Dominic Pooney, offensive lineman. And their riskiest pick was Renardo Green, a corner. But this guy actually was another great sleeper. And I was hoping the Cowboys would get him somewhere in there.
Right.
But I don't think their draft was quite as bad as their grade is made to be. Commanders get an A. Jaden Daniels, instant impact.
Yeah.
Johnny Newton, which they got in the second round, was arguably one of the top defensive linemen. Riskiest pick was Brandon Coleman. I think he's an offensive guard from TCU.
Okay.
And I mean, he was certainly believed to be pretty damn good. So
yeah.
I don't see that being a real risky pick. So you got Steelers, Commanders, Cardinals, Bears, all with A+.
Okay. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Buccaneers, Rams, Saints, Seahawks, Vikings, Ravens, Packers, Colts, and Chiefs with A's.
All right.
Chargers, Dolphins, Patriots, Giants, Bills, Lions with A-. And then everybody basically down from there with B's except for
49ers.
On this one, which was a different list, it was a B. So this one is actually CBS Sports.
Okay.
The previous one was PFF.
I was looking at CBS Sports.
And they have the Titans with the C+,
mm-hmm.
and they have the Falcons with the C, and that's the worst grade.
Yeah, I could see why they did that. No pun intended.
No.
God.
So
that was crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Who's one guy we talked about that the Chargers called? It was Brendan Rice.
Right. Yeah.
if you didn't see this, the poor guy was at his best friend's funeral in Dallas.
Yeah.
When he got the phone call.
That's a day of emotions right there.
That's a tough situation, and I think it's the scout that calls, and he says, "How you doing?" And he's like struggling. He goes, "Well, we're on the clock," and all of a sudden he just thank God, and
right.
And then he started saying, "I love Jim Harbaugh." So I think Brendan Rice. I mean, already with being Jerry's son,
yes,
he's going to be all right.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot because he was picked one of their last picks, I think, or somewhere in the last couple rounds.
I think so.
So as a flyer, like I've been preaching, a family that's been there and done that already, I'm more than happy to waste a 6th, 7th round on.
Exactly. Nothing but upside, right?
So, exactly. It sets,
So pretty sweet deal there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it seemed like a lot of teams got better. I thought, honestly, Brock Bowers going to the Raiders was interesting.
That is, you already got Mike Myers there. So they talked about in terms of, like, fantasy football.
Yeah, how does that
Who
impact?
loses?
Yeah.
Number one was Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
Because of them getting the top one of the top running backs.
Yep.
I forget offhand who it was.
Too many fucking names.
Yeah. But so Jonathan Brooks from Texas.
Gotcha.
So we'll see what all shakes out on that. But
it just didn't make sense. I get that, like, if the best guy available is there, take him, and they can run plenty of options with 2 tight ends and be fine.
Yep.
But didn't they just get Myers like the other year?
They did.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he one of the better receivers on that team? Obviously, Devontae Adams is there.
He was.
But he's always double covered, so I felt like they were going to Myers a lot.
Yeah.
So throwing Bo Nix in the fold, Brock Bowers in the fold, it just, I don't know. It threw me off. I didn't think once the everything was shaken up, that's where you went. I didn't see how that happened.
No, I didn't either. I agree with that. They really needed to get to corner another top. They could have gotten Quinyon Mitchell.
Yep.
Sooner, and instead, of course, he drops to the Eagles.
Yeah. Go figure.
And of course the rich get rich or whatever.
It was nice seeing a MAC guy go in the first round, though.
That is pretty wild. That does not happen often.
No, I do enjoy that, even if it was for Toledo. But Miami beat them in the MAC championship, so all good.
All good.
Obviously, Bo Nix going to Denver, that was to be expected.
Yep, we all kind of imagined that
one. It was
just,
they had to reach. Everyone kind of, I don't know if everyone, but it made sense to me that was probably going to be how they went.
Yeah, I agree.
And it'll be interesting to see how Sean Payton deals with that team this upcoming year. Because Chris Harris Jr. retired.
Right.
So it feels like the Rats are jumping ship on the Broncos a little bit, knowing how the next couple years might go.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Who knows?
Yep.
Wow, I'm trying to think. There's something else I want to talk about or not. It really sucks. This is really like the lull between now and September.
Right.
Or I guess August, but
Yeah, I mean, we got some minor things starting up, and teams again we're starting to get moving, but it's kind of slow. There really isn't a lot, and so we're just trying to come up with things kind of to talk about, really.
Yeah, Oh, right. I meant to talk about this. The finally got the Koi Pond Twitter up and running. I think I said last week I was going to say something. I was going to start that, but it is officially up. I'll probably periodically just try and shit on random accounts, shit post for views. I might put out some pics here and there. If I go on a cold streak, I'll stop. I'm on one right now, so there won't be any for a couple weeks, but I'll post the handle and whatnot up here. Go and give it a like if you want, or a follow. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm so fucking tired today. But yeah, it's up and running, so it's out there.
Yeah, so here we go. Biggest fantasy football losers from the draft. So Michael Mayer was number 1.
Yeah.
Penix is number 2.
Poor guy.
Blake Corum was number 3. Maybe because the backfield's full.
Yeah, who'd you go to?
I went to the Rams.
Oh, yeah, with Keenan Mitchell.
Yeah.
I could see that.
And you got Brock Bowers at 4. Josh Downs for the Colts, wide receiver at 3 or 5. Chuba Hubbard at 6. So anyway, that kind of gives you... Down at 10 was James Conner. Because again, them drafting the back.
Yep.
So there's some things to keep in mind as we move forward to
Right.
fantasy football and all that kind of stuff. So,
Well, thinking out loud, I always like to think about which teams in my head got good enough based on just the draft alone that I would be like they have a chance to make the playoffs now.
yeah.
And it didn't feel it felt more like everyone just got who they needed.
Yeah.
I don't know. This draft was both like the most exciting and unpredictable, and also like the most like that made sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it really did. It wasn't like there was any moment where it was like, holy crap.
They got him.
Yeah.
Because even with Xavier Worthy going to the Chiefs, I still kind of feel like, all he's going to be compared to is Tyreek Hill until that first game. And if he's not Tyreek Hill, that's just going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
Which more than likely he won't be. He could be.
Yeah.
I don't think he will be.
Couple just honorable notes, from the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Campbell having his whole war room wear his jersey and his number in a Lions jersey. 89. They all wore 89 in the war room, which I thought was a great thing.
That's awesome. How did I miss that?
That was a pretty cool thing. The draft in general in Detroit.
Yeah, that was a great...
Busting 700,000 plus, a new attendance record for the draft.
That was crazy. Even on day 2, they packed that place out.
So next year it's going to be at Green Bay.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see, but certainly not as central as Detroit. So that'll be shocking if they're able to get anywhere close to that.
Assuming it's warm, too.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know what the temperature is this time of year up there, but it could be chillier.
Yeah.
Which could be better or worse. I don't know.
Yeah. Jets draft pick Braylon Allen, the running back from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
He becomes the first NFL player born in 2004.
I saw that. That's
just to put some perspective on things.
That's terrible for anybody older than him.
So there's our fun facts.
Yeah, there's our fun facts.
Other notables from the week. Zeke Elliott returns to the Cowboys.
Yes.
In case you missed how his career ended with Dallas, Colin will put that up here.
Yeah, sure, I can find that.
But it was, I got it for you.
Oh.
But it was a couple years ago when the Cowboys lost to San Francisco, and they ran that stupid formation to end the game where Zeke was lined up as a center.
Did that start off with the Dak run? Is that how I remember it?
That was the next year.
Okay.
Or the year, that was the year before.
The year before.
Yeah, but basically... Zeke snaps the ball, the 49er defender plows him into the ground.
I think he got double teamed in his defense, too.
And that was the end of it. So they actually did ask Zeke, why are you coming back to the Cowboys? And part of it was he wanted to leave, hopefully get a ring, but leave the legacy better than he left before. So
yeah, I mean, he might be determined. I didn't hate the pick. I mean, you need a running back, someone familiar with the
$2 million guaranteed. That's all he costs. He can pass block. He can receive. Mm-hmm. He can grind out 2 or 3 yards when you need him. They didn't have that last year.
No.
And even though they don't have Tony Pollard's breakaway speed, they gained something on short yardage here, which is pretty valuable. So
I would say so.
Jet sweeps and fast receivers are all over the place anymore, and you can get the yardage like that, right. I think. But
I don't think you need to worry about it, honestly, because... yeah, it's a good pickup. Yeah. For that much money, why not take the chance?
I think so, ultimately.
For sure.
Yep.
Man.
I'm trying to think of other shit.
I don't have any other shit.
I thought I had something else that was unfootball related. But I'm trying to blank right now.
It's one of those days, I swear.
Got nothing.
I've got nothing.
We calling it there?
We might. I mean... Definitely leave a suggestion if you want us to talk about anything. We'll talk about it.
We're going to need topic suggestions to get through this
drought.
Period of time. Yeah, while we're waiting for the NFL and things to kick up. We'll probably get into some movies and other things. And
we might go all around the horn, honestly. And
if
you guys still loved us going over the draft, the previous drafts and seeing who did the best and who did well, we can keep that up. I don't know if that was it wasn't doing bad, but I don't know if that's what everyone wants or if they want us just to talk about whatever the hell we want to.
Yep.
I guess we can. It is our podcast.
But some topic suggestions in the comments would be great.
Yes, leave some suggestions. We will talk about anything. We could dive back into stocks and movies and some of that stuff we were doing early on that we kind of went away from with football season as it went on.
Yep.
I mean, I don't...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, weather's getting nice outside. Talk about good patios to go check out, stuff like that.
Yeah, local stuff. I mean, obviously, we'll probably make comments about baseball and basketball and stuff as they come up, but frankly, we don't follow that just nearly as much as we do NFL things. So
that's right.
We'll go from there, and we'll keep it short this week.
I think that's what we have for now.
Yeah, there's nothing really else. Numbers are still going up. Appreciate you guys for that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And frankly, I think that's the show. We'll see you all next Thursday, early, bright in the morning, and maybe I'll find more funny videos or something we can react to or something.
There we go.
I don't even know what I'm going to make this title, let alone. But we will talk to you later. You guys have a great rest of your week and stay safe.
Take care.